Hi, this is Dr. Vicente, and welcome to week 4 of Educ7100. The theme for this week is leadership and schools, and for this short webinar, I'm going to walk you through a guided reflection on the required text. The assumption I'm making is that you've already completed reading the text, or you've started to engage with the text. 7 strong claims about successful school leadership is the target reading for this week. This is an important piece of scholarship, as it is one of the very first attempts to empirically measure what successful school leadership means. Written by an impressive set of authors, namely Kenneth Leithwood from the Ontario Institute of Studies in Education, Christopher Day from the University of Nottingham and the University of Sydney, Pam Sammons from the University of Nottingham and the University of Oxford, Alma Harris from the University of Bath, and David Hopkins from the University of Bristol. They prepared comprehensive literature review looking at what they identified as the 7 strong claims about school leadership. What is the gist? What are these 7 strong claims? Number 1, school leadership is second only to classroom teaching as an influence on pupil learning. Number 2, almost all successful leaders draw on the same repertoire of basic leadership practices. Number 3, the ways in which leaders apply these basic leadership practices, not the practices themselves, demonstrate responsiveness to, rather than dictation by, the contexts in which they work. School leaders improve teaching and learning indirectly, and most powerfully through their influence on staff motivation, commitment, and working conditions. That's number 4. Number 5, school leadership has a greater influence on schools and students when it is widely distributed. Number 6, some patterns of distribution are more effective than others. And the last one, number 7, a small handful of personal traits explains a high proportion of the variation in leadership effectiveness. Let's now critically take a look at these 7 strong claims. The first one, what I'd like you to consider is this question: what is the magnitude of the impact of school leadership in schools? I'd like you to think about that. In relation to the second point, I'd like you to consider this question: what is the repertoire of practices of successful school leaders? What does it actually consist of? For the third claim, I'd like you to consider this question: how important is the context for successful leadership to flourish? They say that context matters. How important is it? For claim number 4, I'd like you to consider this question: what is most important? Is it motivation? Is it commitment? Or is it working conditions? Because they claim that these 3 are very important. Which one is most important? For number 5, does this mean that, for example, distributed leadership is one of the most important aspects when you take a look at the entire theory of educational leadership? It's important to ask that question. And I also would like you to look at another reflective question: what could be some examples of distributed types of leadership? And for the 7th claim that they make, the question I'd like you to consider is: does this notion of traits signal a resurgence of trait theories of leadership, which has been proven to be an antedated form of looking at leadership? So these questions have been formulated to help you as you understand and comprehend this particular text for this week. Thank you.